What's going on, guys, and welcome back to a brand new sanitizing lube created by yours truly, Web Dev Journey. Today we're going to be talking about Elastic Block Store, or EBS for short, and also we're going to be talking about Elastic File System, or EFS for short. As we all know, computers and servers use hard drives to store data, and virtual servers need hard drives as well, because this is where they store their operating system, server configuration files, and the source code that you'll be creating, and uploading to run your application. But unlike physical hard drives, in the real world, virtual drives can grow and shrink in size. You can even snapshot them at any point in time, and you can easily clone them. Amazon's primary store service for EC2 servers is called Elastic Block Store. Elastic because they can stretch in size when you need it to. So we're going to be taking a look at Elastic or EBS in the EC2 console, which we already have open. I hope you do too. So when you actually take a snapshot or an AMI snapshot like we did in the last video of your instance, you'll notice that in the EC2 console, right here underneath the Elastic Block Store in snapshots, it also created a snapshot of, it created an EBS snapshot of your server's main drive as well. Now, this snapshot is a little different than the AMI snapshot. The AMI includes everything you need to relaunch the instance, but the EBS volume is just a snapshot of its hard drive. You can create additional EBS volumes and mount them to your running instance, and this is like adding a second hard drive to your computer by doing it right here, but we're not going to be doing that. You could also detach this drive and move it to another computer. Now, for backups of your server, the best thing to do is to take an AMI image periodically, because this can easily be relaunched to restore the servers at a point in time. If you have an application where you need to take a snapshot of data volume that changes frequently, you may want to mount this as a second EBS volume and then take EBS snapshots at a higher frequency. But this is a extremely rare case. You probably will never do this anyways. I mean, you might want to do it for hosting a database server, but there's actually better ways to actually do that. And we'll be talking about that when we get to that section. But for EBS volumes, they're actually pretty fast. This is why they're the default for new EC2 instances. But we're going to be taking a look at options for sharing files within a storage. Why not drive? Drive is a better word. We're gonna be looking at options of how to share files within a drive. So there's actually limitations to Elastic or EBS, and one of the limitations is that once an EC2 server is using a EBS volume, you can't have a second EC2 instance directly read and write to that drive. So once I plug this drive into this instance, there's no way to also plug it into another instance at the same time if I need to share files between the two servers. Now, I can clone my EBS volume by taking a snapshot of it and install the clone to my other instance, but the data isn't going to stay in sync between these two instances. What you need is something similar to a NAS. Now, if you don't know what a NAS is basically, it stands for Network Attached Storage, and it plugs into your home network and creates a file share where you can mount the same drive on both instances. Amazon's version of a NAS is called Elastic File System, or EFS. So this service actually allows you to mount a shared drive across several EC2 instances to share commonly used data by your application across all of your scalable front-end servers. Now, EFS isn't as fast as EBS because EBS sits closer to the raw hardware of your instance. So each EBS volume in your instances should include your operating system for your instance and your application source code. Your EFS drive will include anything that your instances need to share. such as user uploaded data and so forth. Now let's actually start, messing around with this kind of stuff. So up here in services, we're going to type EFS, and click on that. And we're going to actually create some. So let's create a file system. All right. Now this is going to create a mount point and all of the availability zones for your default VPC. And we'll get into VPCs in a little bit, but for right now, I need you to remember the name of your security group and the last couple numbers and letters of it. So for me, my security group is default, and the last four or somewhat letters or numbers is 1500159. And I'll tell you why we're getting into this in a bit. Don't worry, it is going to be important. So create next step, or click on next step at the bottom, next step, and then at the bottom of this, next step. Don't worry about any of this for right now, and then create file system, okay? So once we're getting there. Okay, here we go. All right, see, right here in the success button is going to give right here. Click here for EC2 mount instructions, and here for on-premise mount instructions. So we're gonna actually click here for the first here to actually get what's it called? The instructions to actually do this. So obviously you do need to sign in into one of the servers that you created. So let's actually do that. Let me sign into my console, and actually I don't even need to do that. Let me actually hold on. Let me go to my GitHub, my Git bash. All right, I should do an up arrow, and there we go. We're in I think this is the second one or the first server. I'm not too sure. Let's just mount into one of them, and then we'll figure out which one this one actually is. So I just logged into the one of the servers. I don't know which server. I think it's, let me see, hold on. Okay, this is the very first server. This is my main server. You can see right here, 5481, 5481417. This is the very first one. So I just logged into this one, and what we're going to be doing now is actually mounting that server into this one. And don't worry, we're going to be able to mount it, or what did I just say? Mount that drive we just created to this server, and also we could mount that drive to this server, so that way those two servers could be sharing the same drive. That's what the EFS is all about. So anyways, all right, let's go back over here. All right, so right here it's telling you, hey, if you're using Amazon Linux, we're not using Amazon Linux EC2. We're not using Red Hat. We're using Ubuntu. So we need to install this first of all. So let me just copy this. Go right here, paste that sucker in, and install it. Yes, install package. This might take a while, so I'm just come back when it's actually done. All right, it's done. Now we're gonna be creating a mount point. So I'm gonna just do CD. Where am I? Right here. CD / so that way I could get to my root directory, and then I'm gonna make a directory. So mkdir dir, and I'm pretty sure you have to do sudo everything. Sudo make directory, and we're going to make a directory called EFS. I do hope you know your Linux commands. Anyways, let's make that directory. Now, everything I'm doing is actually inside of this. It'll tell you exactly what to do right here. We're right here. So we're making a sudo make directory. And now what we need to do, since we're using the NFS client, we're going to be copying this command, and actually using it. So copy that, paste it in here, press enter, and nothing's happening. And the reason why is because of our security group. So our security group is actually blocking the return traffic from the EFS drive. So what we need to do is actually configure our security groups in the instance that we're connected to. So I'm connected to my main one right here. And right here in our security groups right here, we've already done this before. Remember, you can view the inbound rules, view the outbound rules. Now, if you look at your inbound rules, we do need to allow traffic to come to. We do need to allow port 22 traffic to come in from this EFS mount point. Right now, we're only doing it from my IP address, but we do need to allow it to get into our for EFS to do the same exact thing. So let's actually do that. So remember to click on the instance that you're in connected to, go to actions, go to networking, and then change security groups. Now remember that we only have 2 right now, and obviously it's going to be this one. So we do need to include our default security group, the one that the EFS is using. And I told you to remember this because maybe you're actually working on your company's Amazon account, so they might have a ton of these. So that's why I told you to remember what security group name is it, which is default, and the last 4 or 5 of your group ID. So let's just assign it. And now if you actually look at the inbound rules, you'll see that now the 2 security groups are now stacking on top of each other. The default security group is adding a new rule that says all ports and all protocols are accepted from anybody that's using the security group ID, which is the default security group ID. Now this is actually a special, I'm gonna say, security group policy, and so instead of specifying an IP range like we did with our home or my IP address, you can grant access to ports from any resource in AWS that's using this security group ID. It's another way you can think. You can link your AWS resources together without using IP ranges, and it's very, very useful. So this security group will allow any instance that's using this default security group to talk to each other. Now let's actually check out our thing, and look at that, connection timed out. So we have to do it again, and this time it should just blast through it. Maybe not. Oh, there it is. It didn't blast through it, but it actually did connect our EFS to this server. Now if you want to do this exact same thing, you would have to actually connect to the exact same thing we did right here to this server up here, our second server that we did. What you need to do is actually connect to the server and do exactly the same thing we did here. And now you have a drive that is shared between 2 instances. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah, I know, it's pretty cool. It's pretty dope. Yeah, I know. Let's actually try it out. Let me see. So anything that's written in the EFS folder that we just created, let me see, ls, this, where is it at? EFS folder right here will be shared. Now we could actually try it. Let's say I'm gonna say touch. I'm gonna go into EFS, and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say shared underscore file .txt yxy. Well, permission. Okay, yeah. Okay, let me see. And don't forget to do sudo. Damn it. No, sudo. All right. So now if you actually look in ls EFS, you can see that we have a shared file .txt. Now I'm not going to write anything inside this text file, and we're going to do exactly what we did here in our other server. So I'm actually going to get out of this one. Actually, can I create a new one from here? Let me see. New, yes. All right, awesome. Let me get rid of this one. Now let's connect to this one right here. And to connect to that one, we just click this connect button up here and copy this right here. Go in here, paste it, and let's connect to it. And since this is literally the first time, we're actually doing it, we do need to do this. And damn it, we need to, oh, right here. Don't forget about this bit right there. So I might actually have to go to tilde/.ssh. Let me see this time it works. Last time it did not work for me. Yeah, I thought so. All right. I have to do, there you go, .ssh, and then do that. I don't know why I have to do the full path. It's really. And it told me to use Ubuntu, which we should be using Ubuntu. I don't know why it gave me the root. We don't want root, we want Ubuntu. Yeah. All right, now we're logged into our second server. So we're going to do exactly the same thing what we did in our first one. So you could actually do that or figure out what the commands is by going up to services up here, EFS, do exactly the same thing, click on this, scroll down right here, Amazon EC2 mount, and you're going to do exactly the same thing what we did. Now I am going to copy this again. Copy, let's go to our thing. So I'm gonna go CD, go to my root folder, and then do the sudo. Well, I could have done that first if I wanted to, yeah. Y. Sorry, I was moving, I was trying to see this over here. Now we have to make a sudo mkdir EFS, and then we're going to copy this right here, copy, paste it, and it's going to hang. Don't forget to actually add it to your security group. I was just testing you guys. So let's actually add it to our security group over here. Let me see, service EC2. Go to our instances. Now we have to do the same thing over here. Actions, networking, change security groups, add the default, assign, and we should have, yep. All right, now let's try it again. We could actually get out of it by doing control. Oh, and actually added it. I don't even have to do it no more. It actually did. It did not say timed out because we actually did this in the nick of time. What? All right, anyways, so let's actually see if we can see our EFS. We have our ES folder. Let's CD into EFS ls, and what do you know, we have our shared file right here, and this is the second server. Let me actually pull up the first server, which is right there, and I could tell you that this is the second server because check it out. Look right here, 3312381 3145152. They're completely different terminals, and you could take it right there as well. I don't even know why I didn't do that right here. 45152 23181. So these are two different servers that I'm running, and I actually, let me see, CD EFS and then ls, and we got the shared file. Now let's actually write something into it so that way we could see it in real time. Now if I'm not mistaken, VIM and then shared. Yep, okay, so I'm gonna insert damn it, I have to do sudo. So escape Q. I don't want to override X. My bad, or my bad. What am I do? Q and then exclamation? Okay, don't forget to do sudo. All right, now let's actually add something. Let me see. I'm gonna say writing on my second server instance. All right, escape. I think it's X to actually like, okay, now I could do cat shared, and I have writing on my second server instance. Now let's see over here, cat shared. What do you know, writing on my second server instance. So that is it for this video, guys. I just wanted to talk about EBS, Elastic Block Store. I kind of like forgot what it stands for, and EFS, which stands for Elastic File System. So that is it, guys. We actually, talked about two different storage drives, and don't worry, we still need there's still a lot more storages that we need to talk about, like S3, so yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you learned something from this video, and I try to keep it as short as I possibly could. So like the video, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.